last night, the triumphant return of the product herself.
Because you is part of the problem. You're lying to the people, and you're supposed to be looked upon as a person we can count on.
Angel Reese returned to the court after weeks away, convinced the crowd had been eagerly awaiting her comeback.
What is this back injury? What's going on?
But instead, she was met with silence, rows of empty seats, and a wave of hostility from fans.
You made so many people that squeezed in, just a mere 3,000 people short.
As if being snubbed by fans wasn't embarrassing enough, her poor performance and loss to the Seattle Storm turned her into a live TV laughingstock.
Angel Reese is the most blocked player in the WNBA.
2 months ago, Angel Reese took credit for the sellout Fever game, boasting that fans showed up just to see her. Yes, the arena was packed, but not because of Reese. The real draw was the bargain-priced tickets.
You send me a few pictures and most sections seemed to be filled. It wasn't a sellout, but there was supposedly over 19,000 people in attendance. Of course, it's easier to draw a decent crowd when tickets are selling for $3.
But Angel Reese denied all of that, insisting she was the reason the WNBA was still alive and the Chicago Sky were thriving. With that same arrogance, she returned to face the Seattle Storm after a long absence, blaming her time away on a supposed back injury. Convinced the crowd would be anxiously awaiting her comeback, she expected a queen's welcome. Instead, the reality hit hard. Just 6,724 fans showed up, leaving her stunned to the core.
Angel Reese finally made her way back to the court. Only 6,724 fans showed up to the Wintrust Arena. Yeah, it holds about 9,500 fans, so we're talking roughly 3,000 fans.
Wintrust holds 9,500 seats, so let's crunch the numbers. Over 2,700 of them sat embarrassingly empty. That's not a sellout. That's not even close. That's more like Wednesday night bowling league turnout. We were told Angel Reese's Grand Chicago return would be a Beyoncé-level spectacle. An unforgettable event with doors bursting open, scalpers charging triple, and fans fighting just to get a glimpse of the Chi Barbie. At least, that's what the hype machine sold us. But reality, it hit harder than a rookie crashing to the hardwood.
She said, "I'm so happy to be back, playing the game that I love." All right. It was literally only 3,000 fans away from being standing room only.
For what was supposed to be her big comeback, the arena looked more like a half-empty high school pep rally. The self-proclaimed double-double queen was hyped as the one to put Chicago on the map, yet her much-touted return couldn't even pack a mid-sized venue.
In all honesty, she has gotten better at shooting.
What is this back injury? What's going on?
Caitlin Clark's preseason games have had more life than this so-called marquee moment. Imagine being the it girl of the WNBA and still needing a Groupon code to move tickets. Oh, why did fans turn their backs on Angel Reese? Why the frustration? It all traces back to her infamous disappearing act. Whenever the hype around her dips, or the team starts losing because of her, Reese pulls the same tired move, vanishing from the Chicago Sky without warning. Fans are fed up, teammates are left hanging, and honestly, nobody's surprised anymore. At this point, quitting isn't just a bad habit for Angel Reese, it's her brand.
The whole world is wondering, where in the world is Batman? I'm joking. I want to know, Chicago Sky fans, women's basketball, WNBA, Angel Reese fans, where in the world?
Angel Reese! She might have tapped out.
When people asked Angel Reese why she disappeared, she blamed it on a back injury. Out of all the excuses she could have made, isn't it ironic that it's her back? The same back she claims has been carrying the Sky all season? Let's be real, her back isn't breaking from carrying the team.
And it looked like the Indiana Fever front office is caught red-handed, lying to reporters. And it looked like more footage has been released as to the Indiana Fever actually exposing when this injury happened, man. So they saying that the injury happened around August and said, part of the problem, you're lying to the people and you're supposed to be looked upon as a person we can count on for credibility and to keep it transparent with the fans.
It's breaking under the weight of her own hype. Fans aren't buying it anymore. They see the timing, the patterns, the convenient excuses. Sure, injuries happen, but when they magically pop up every time things get tough, that's not bad luck. That's a script. The truth is, Angel Reese isn't playing for the Chicago Sky. She's playing for Instagram likes, endorsement checks, and her personal brand. Every possession feels less like basketball and more like a rehearsal for her next social media drop. Compare that with Caitlin Clark. One is building a legacy, the other is building a brand and hoping nobody notices the difference. But WNBA fans aren't fools. Clark's stats scream greatness. Reese's numbers whisper, maybe next year. The only reason Reese stays in the conversation is because she's loud, flashy, and tailor-made for clickbait, not because she's dominating the court. Fans are done pretending otherwise. That's why when Clark went missing, Fever fans lost it. They couldn't believe she'd sit out willingly, so the blame shifted to Indiana's front office. The team claimed Clark was sidelined with an injury, but fans started connecting the dots and calling foul. First, they insisted the injury happened on August 7th. But as new footage surfaced, the timeline didn't add up. Suddenly, the Fever looked less like a professional franchise and more like writers of a bad soap opera, fumbling through injury reports while fans caught them red-handed. Fans watched that entire game closely, and what they saw left them furious. The Fever claimed Caitlin Clark's injury happened around August 7th, but fans weren't buying it. They remembered seeing her that very day, perfectly fine, swinging a Prada bag like she was headed to a runway, not an MRI machine. Yet we're supposed to believe she suddenly went down injured? The whole cover-up stinks, and fans know it. This wasn't just about an injury, it was about being lied to. And when you lie to the people who show up, the ones who pay, who care, and who look to you for transparency, you break trust that's almost impossible to rebuild. Clark supporters know she's the reason Wintrust fills it all. Without her, that arena feels like an empty high school gym. They want her on the court, not benched behind some PR stunt. And that reality is the biggest slap in the face to Angel Reese. Time and time again, Reese tried to spin the narrative, claiming fans came for her. But the moment Clark sat out while Reese played, the truth was undeniable. Fans didn't care enough to show. They're done with Reese's disappearing acts and her bad attitude. Reese insists she's dealing with a back injury. Maybe that's true. But is her back hurting from carrying the Chicago Sky? No, it's from carrying the dead weight of her own hype. True leaders take responsibility when things fall apart. Clark has shown that repeatedly. Reese, on the other hand, dodges accountability like a full-court press. She shrugs, rolls her eyes, and pretends everyone else is the problem. And yet, the Sky actually handed her the keys to the franchise. What did she do with them? Drove straight into a ditch. Fans don't want a passenger, they want a driver. And Reese doesn't even want to touch the wheel. Still, in her absence, she convinced herself fans adored her. She even dreamed of launching a signature shoe line that would rival Michael Jordan's Air Jordans. Yes, the most iconic sneaker line in sports history. Reese actually said she wants people everywhere wearing Angel Reese ones, just like they wear Jordans. But let's be honest, to have a signature sneaker that sells, you need three things: global star power, cultural influence, and fans lining up to wear what you wear. Reese has none of that. She can't even get her own team's arena to 75% capacity. Forget Jordans, she's closer to selling discount flip-flops at Walgreens than creating a cultural phenomenon. Jordan built an empire because he was the game. He earned generations of fans who worshipped his greatness. Reese. She's built her name on Instagram captions and fake tough girl theatrics that are already wearing thin. If you can't pack a 9,500-seat arena for your big comeback, maybe pump the brakes on the sneaker empire talk. Comparing yourself to the Jumpman, the ultimate general, the ultimate leader, was already bold. But did the Chicago Sky really break Angel Reese's back? If that wasn't humiliating enough, her so-called big comeback only cemented her as a laughingstock. The Sky fell 94-88 to the Seattle Storm, turning all that hype and build-up into nothing more than another L in the standings. Nothing screams, "I'm back," like letting the Storm waltz out of Wintrust Arena with a win. Sure, on paper, 19 points and 7 rebounds look solid. But let's not act like this was dominance. Reese is still the most blocked player in the entire WNBA, a walking target for defenders who have cracked her playbook. Her easy layups clanked. Because what's an Angel Reese highlight reel without a few missed bunnies to humble it up? That shiny 69% shooting percentage? Half of it came from putbacks that should have been automatic. And then there's the attitude. She struts around like she's already a Hall of Famer, while in reality she's just stacking bricks on the backboard. Eye rolls, shoulder shrugs, smug smirks. It's more bad girl gimmick than professional basketball. Maybe she should trademark it, Bricklayer Barbie. But the real damage wasn't just to her reputation, it was to her team. Camila Cardoso, who had been thriving and finding her rhythm in Reese's absence, suddenly looked muted the moment Reese stepped back on the floor. Her numbers dipped instantly, as if Reese's presence didn't elevate the sky but dragged them down. Imagine being the supposed star whose return makes teammates worse. That's not leadership. That's sabotage with a headband. If I'm Cardoso, I'm packing my bags and getting out of Chicago ASAP.